Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you're walking into a new store. Maybe you're traveling, right? And you spot something you really like, but then a question pops into your head and you feel that little bit of hesitation. How do I actually ask this in English? Or maybe you get to the register and the cashier says something kind of fast and you just find yourself nodding nervously. I think, well, we've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. We've all had that moment.
So this deep dive is really designed for you, our listener, to help turn those slightly awkward moments into, well, opportunities for confident, clear English communication in pretty much any shop.
Yeah, and what's truly interesting here, I think, is how often it's the simple language things, not like complex grammar, that stop us navigating everyday stuff like shopping easily.
Right.
So this deep dive, it isn't just about, memorizing lists of phrases.
Right.
It's more about understanding the patterns behind those retail chats, giving you the tools to bridge that gap with real confidence.
Exactly. Our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut. A shortcut to being well-informed about practical, real-world English for shopping. We've looked at quite a few sources, dissecting those natural conversations you'll actually hear. Everywhere from, say, busy clothes shops to the supermarket, or even like electronics stores. This isn't about drowning you in information. It's about giving you the focused knowledge you need quickly and thoroughly.
Getting straight to the useful stuff.
Pretty much. So let's start your confident shopping journey right at the beginning, like at the entrance. You step into a new store. Maybe you're just browsing. Maybe you have a specific thing you need. How do you kick off that first chat?
That first step, yeah.
Well, if you are looking for something specific, a simple and polite opener is usually best. Something like, excuse me, where can I find the men's shoes?
Or,
hi, do you have this shirt in a medium size? And a quick tip here, it's totally okay to point, discreetly if it helps show what you mean.
yeah, pointing helps a lot sometimes.
And if you need to know about other options, maybe sizes or colors not on display, you could ask, do you have this in another color? Or maybe, do you have these shoes in size 9?
Straightforward.
Now, if you need a bit more general help, phrases like, could you help me find, work great. Or just, excuse me, I'm looking for it. And if you glance around and don't see anyone obvious, a simple, could someone help me please, usually does the trick.
Gets their attention politely.
But what about when they approach you? Staff often start with, hi, can I help you find anything today?
The standard opener.
Exactly. If you're just looking around casually, a polite, just looking, thanks, is perfect. Or I'm just browsing, thank you. It clearly signals, I'm okay for now.
Right. Lets them know you don't need help yet.
But if you do need help, that's your moment. You could say something like, actually, yes, I'm looking for a gift for my mom. Do you have any recommendations around $50?
Oh, that's a great example. Specific.
Yeah, see how that immediately gives them context and a price range to work with.
Yeah, it's much more helpful for them too. And what's really effective about mastering these opening phrases is that they let you take control of the conversation right from the start.
That's a really good point, taking control.
A lot of people just focus on learning words, but the real insight, I think, is seeing the predictable patterns in these shopping chats.
Patterns, right?
Once you spot the structure, even words you don't know often slot into a place you recognize, and that really cuts down the anxiety. It's like having a sort of mental map of the conversation before it even starts.
A mental map, I like that. Okay, so building on that, you've used your opener, you've spotted something you like. The next step is often getting more details, isn't it?
The specifics.
Like, can you try it on? Is it the right size, the right color? Maybe what features does it have, especially for, say, electronics?
Exactly. The nitty-gritty.
So for clothes, obviously size and color are key. You just ask, do you have this in a size 10 or enlarge? Or maybe, I like this, but do you have it in blue?
Yeah.
Or a different color?
Simple enough.
And then when you want to try it on, you need the changing rooms. You can ask, where can I find the trial room? Or where are the fitting rooms?
Both work fine. Fitting rooms is maybe a bit more common in the US and Canada.
Good distinction.
Right.
And once you're there, it's just, can I try this on? And sometimes they might ask you, how many items can I take in? There's often a limit.
Yeah, watch out for that.
Now, for things like electronics or maybe kitchen appliances, understanding the features is super important. Instead of just pointing, you can be more specific. Like, I'm looking for a good pair of wireless earbuds.
Right.
Or what's the difference between these two models? You might also ask about practical things. How long is the warranty? That's a big one.
Crucial.
Or even, could you tell me more about this blender? Or this sofa, what are its main features? For other things, maybe fabric, you might ask, is this machine easy to clean? Or does this material stain easily? Useful stuff to know beforehand.
Definitely practical questions.
And what might you hear back from the staff? Well, they might guide you. Yes, the changing rooms are to your left. Or about stock levels. I'm sorry, we're out of medium right now.
Or the classic, let me check in the back.
Exactly. We have it in black and gray. Let me see if we have blue in the back. For the item itself, the large is right here. Would you like to try it on? For tech stuff, you could hear, this one has noise cancellation, or the warranty is 1 year, sometimes longer. This model has a 5-year warranty.
Good to listen for the specifics.
And if you asked about fabric, maybe, this fabric is treated to be stain resistant.
Right. And this brings up an important point for you, the listener. How much details should you actually push for?
Yeah, good question.
The great thing about knowing these phrases is they really empower you to get exactly the info you need, which helps avoid that feeling later, buyer's remorse.
Oh, definitely. Been there.
It's about being an informed shopper, not just a polite one. And often the staff use very specific terms: warranty, noise cancellation, stain resistant. So picking up those keywords is almost as vital as asking your own questions.
Listening is key. Okay, so we've browsed, maybe tried something on, asked questions. Now we arrive at, well, the big moment. Payment.
Dun, dun, dun.
This part can feel the most intimidating sometimes because things often move really fast at the checkout. So being ready with the right phrases is, well, it's crucial.
It really is. Speed is often the factor there.
So the cashier usually kicks things off with a friendly, "Did you find everything okay today?"
Standard pleasantry.
Right. Your reply can be simple, "Yes, thanks." Or if you actually didn't find something, you could say, "Actually, I couldn't find the item name." Then they'll state the total. Your total comes to $15.99 or, $57.89.
Clear and simple.
When it's your turn to pay, you might state your preference. "I'd like to pay by card," or ask, "Can I pay by card?" or "by cash?" And sometimes, "Do you accept credit cards?" Though most places do now.
Usually, yeah. But good to know the phrase.
Then listen closely for their instructions. They might ask, "Credit or debit?"
Cue difference.
Then, "Insert your card, please." Or "Swipe your card." Or now often, "Tap your card, please."
Contactless. Yeah.
They might also say, "Could you enter your PIN?" That's your secret code, your personal identification number.
Right.
And sometimes, especially with credit cards, "Sign here, please."
Less common now with chip and pin, but still happens.
True. Then there are loyalty cards and bags. The cashier might ask, "Do you have a loyalty card or a membership with us?"
Got to get those points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your reply could be, "Yes, here it is," or "No, I don't." Or you could even ask, "Can I sign up for one?" if you're interested.
Sometimes they offer it right there.
Yeah. For bags, they'll usually ask, "Would you like a bag?" And just remember, in some places, there might be a small charge for bags now for environmental reasons.
Good point. Worth being aware of.
So you can say, "Yes, please," or "No, thanks, I have my own." If they don't ask and you need one, just say, "Can I get a bag, please?" Simple.
And receipts. They usually ask, would you like a receipt? But you can always ask too, can I get a receipt? Or maybe slightly more formal, could I get a receipt, please?
Always good to get one, just in case.
Definitely. And a few other useful phrases just around the checkout. You might need to ask, how much does this cost? If something isn't priced. Or is this on sale? Do you offer any discounts? Maybe confirm, what is the total? And finally, that clear signal, I'll take it.
The point of no return. Well, almost.
True.
But what's really noticeable here is how predictable these checkout conversations tend to be. It's almost like a ritual, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Same steps usually.
Once you recognize those common phrases and the typical flow, ask about payment, give total, process card, ask about bag receipt, the whole thing becomes way less scary. It's pattern recognition again, but also understanding the gestures, like them pointing to the card machine.
Right. The nonverbal cues too.
It just frees up your brain power, doesn't it? So you can focus on the numbers, make sure the price is right, rather than scrambling for the English words. Absolutely. Okay, but sometimes things don't go quite to plan.
Tricky situations.
Exactly. Knowing how to handle returns or maybe exchanges or unexpected problems calmly and clearly in English, that's a real sign of next level confidence. Let's maybe unpack a couple of scenarios.
Good idea.
So say you need to return something or exchange it. You'd usually go to a specific counter, like customer service or returns, and you just state your intention directly. Hi, I'd like to return this item, please, or exchange this item.
Clear and polite.
Then the staff will likely ask some questions. Do you have the receipt? That's almost always the first one.
Vital. Keep those receipts.
Definitely. They might also ask, what seems to be the issue? Or maybe, do you have the original packaging?
Right. Helps them process it.
Your replies can be simple and factual. Yes, here's the receipt for the reason it doesn't fit. Or it wasn't what I expected. Or maybe, I'd like to exchange it for a different size or a different color.
Keep it straightforward.
Then the staff might outline your options. Would you like store credit? That's like money you can only spend in that store. Or a refund back to your card.
Good to know the difference.
Yeah. And you can also ask questions proactively. Can I return this item? Maybe ask before you even buy, what is your return policy?
Smart move.
Or can I exchange this for a different size? And sometimes it's worth asking, is there a restocking fee?
Yeah. The restocking fee. What is that exactly?
It's basically an extra charge some shops apply when you return something, especially like electronics that have been opened. It covers their costs of checking it and putting it back into stock. Not all stores have them, but it's good to be aware.
Right. Good to know.
And of course, the direct question, can I get a refund?
The bottom line.
Now, what about handling other problems? Like, say, an item you just bought isn't working, or the price rings up wrong at the till.
Yeah, that happens.
Imagine you get home, plug in that new blender, and nothing. Instead of getting flustered, you can go back and say calmly, excuse me, I think there might be a problem.
Good starting phrase. Calm.
Then state the fact. This blender I bought yesterday isn't working. Or if it's a price issue at the checkout. The price on the shelf said $19.99, but it's scanned at $24.99.
Just state the facts clearly.
Exactly. And staff responses will usually be helpful, like, I'm sorry about that, let me check for you, or maybe let me get the manager to assist.
Right. And this really raises a key point, doesn't it? Why it's so crucial to stay polite and just state the facts clearly in these kinds of situations.
Yeah, why is that so important tactically?
Well, it's really about effective communication, especially when things feel a bit stressful. You want a smooth resolution, right?
Of course.
Retail staff are generally trained to help solve problems, and giving them a calm, clear explanation of what happened rather than, say, an angry outburst is just far more likely to get you the result you want.
Makes sense. Works better for everyone.
Absolutely. And it also shows a kind of cultural awareness, because in many English-speaking contexts, that direct but polite approach is really valued in sorting things out.
Right. Good insight. Okay, so pulling all this together, what does this really mean for you, the listener, wanting to be a confident shopper? Let's try and boil down the most important takeaways from this deep dive into maybe some key principles or golden rules, if you like.
Yeah, the core ideas.
Okay, principle 1. Always start polite, even if you're in a rush, just starting with, excuse me, hi, using please, and always finishing with thanks. It shows respect. It encourages people to help you more. It's not just manners. It's actually like a strategy for better service.
Totally agree. Politeness goes a long way.
Principle 2, be clear and specific. Practice those direct questions we talked about. Do you have this in size color? Where are the fitting rooms? Can I pay by card? The clearer you are, the quicker you'll get what you actually need.
Avoids confusion.
Principle 3, don't panic and ask for clarification. Look, if you don't understand something, and it will happen sometimes, it is perfectly okay to say, sorry, could you repeat that?
Absolutely fine. No shame in it.
Or, could you speak a little slower, please? Most staff are genuinely happy to help you understand. Don't feel embarrassed.
Yeah, they deal with it all the time.
And finally, principle 4, listen for key words. Get your ears tuned to those common terms like total, credit debit, swipe, insert, tap, PIN, sign, receipt, return, exchange, and price. Your listening skills are just as crucial as your speaking skills here.
Active listening is key.
And just for adding that extra touch, general pleasantries always help. Like, that looks great on you.
Yeah.
If you're complimenting someone, maybe another shopper or even the staff member on their suggestion, or just a simple warm, thank you, have a nice day, as you leave.
Those little things make a difference, don't they? And if we kind of zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, confidence in a language isn't just about knowing the words, is it?
No, definitely not.
It's about understanding the social cues, the sort of expected flow of conversations, and how to actually apply what you know in a real situation. These principles we just discussed, they give you a clear framework for that. They help turn what might feel like a big linguistic challenge into something more predictable, more manageable.
Yeah, manageable is a good word.
And remember, every single time you successfully use one of these phrases, even a simple one, you're not just, buying something. You're actually building that foundation of real-world English confidence, step by step.
That's such a great way to put it. Shopping is such a big part of everyday life for most people. And having these targeted English phrases and principles in your back pocket, it'll help you sound not just like you know the words, but genuinely confident, polite.
Fluent in the situation.
Exactly. Fluent in the situation. These sentences aren't just vocabulary lists. They're like your essential toolkit, your shopping superpower, really, for navigating shops with ease. Whether you're in a market in London, a fancy boutique in New York, or even just figuring out an online checkout process in English.
Very versatile skills.
So the absolute best way to get comfortable with all this, you guessed it, practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Start small. Maybe just aim to use one new phrase the next time you're out shopping. And honestly, we genuinely want to hear from you. What shopping situations maybe still make you feel a bit nervous? Was there a time you struggled, but then, managed to get through a tricky conversation in English?
Success stories are great.
Yeah. Or maybe you have a brilliant tip that's worked for you that you could share with other listeners. Let us know.
And thinking about that, it raises kind of a final interesting question for you, the listener, to maybe reflect on. Beyond just the specific phrases we've talked about today, what specific feeling do you most want to achieve when you're shopping in English?
Ooh, interesting question.
Is it like complete independence? Is it maybe the ability to negotiate prices confidently? Or is it simply feeling a sort of relaxed confidence that just lets you enjoy the whole experience without that background anxiety? Thinking about that, why you want this skill can be a really powerful motivator for keeping up the practice.
That's a fantastic point to end on, finding your why. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into shopping with English confidence.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep listening, and definitely keep practicing.
Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more English learning videos. See you in the next lesson.